Hey, what's up everyone, welcome back to Data Monarch. Today I'm telling you the complete life story of Lionel Messi. And trust me, this one will give you goosebumps. Let's get into it. In 2022, 1 billion people watched a tiny man lift the most important trophy in sport. But what they didn't see was the 35 years of pain, rejection, and sacrifice that led to that single moment. This is the story of Lionel Messi. The boy who was told he would never grow. The boy who left his family at age 13. The boy who cried more times than you will ever know. But also the boy who became a god. Stay till the end because what happened in the World Cup final will give you chills. Now let me take you back to where it all started. A small neighborhood in Rosario, Argentina. Pay attention because what happens next is heartbreaking. Lionel Andres Messi was born on June 24, 1987, in Rosario, Argentina. His father Jorge worked in a steel factory. His mother Celia worked in a magnet manufacturing workshop. They were not rich. They were not famous. They were a completely normal family living in a small neighborhood. But from the age of 4, everyone in that neighborhood knew something was different about this kid. His grandmother Celia used to take him to football practice at Grandoli Football Club every single day. Rain or shine. She saw something special in him that nobody else could see yet. At age 6, Messi joined Newell's Old Boys Youth Academy. And what happened next shocked everyone. In 6 years of youth football, this tiny little kid scored over 500 goals. 500 goals. Let that sink in. He was so small that opposing coaches would complain, saying surely this child is too young to be playing in this age group. But he wasn't. He was just that small. And that good. But then came the news that almost destroyed everything. At age 10, Messi was diagnosed with growth hormone deficiency. His body was not producing enough hormones to grow normally. While other kids his age were getting taller, Messi stayed small. The doctors said without treatment, he might never grow past 4 feet 7 inches. The treatment cost $900 every single month. His family could not afford it. They went to his local club, Newell's Old Boys, and begged them to pay for the treatment. The club said no. They went to River Plate, one of the biggest clubs in Argentina. River Plate also said no. Nobody wanted to invest in a boy who might never grow. Imagine being 10 years old. Imagine being told that your body is broken. That you might never be tall enough to compete. That nobody believes in you enough to help. That is what Messi lived through every single day. Most kids would have given up. Most parents would have accepted it. But Jorge Messi, his father, refused to accept defeat. He recorded videos of young Lionel playing football. Dribbling past kids twice his size. Scoring impossible goals. And he sent those tapes to clubs in Europe. Club after club ignored them. Nobody responded. Nobody cared about a tiny boy from Argentina who couldn't grow. Except one club. One club saw the tape and said bring him here immediately. That club was FC Barcelona. And that single decision changed football history forever. Alright, this next part of the story is what separates Messi from everyone else. Most people don't know about the sacrifice he made at just 13 years old. In September 2000, a 13-year-old Messi and his father flew to Barcelona, Spain for a trial. Think about that for a moment. A 13-year-old boy flying across the Atlantic Ocean to a country where he doesn't speak the language, doesn't know anyone, and has never been before. All because a football club said maybe. The sporting director Carlos Rexach watched young Messi play for just a few minutes. And his jaw dropped. He turned to his assistant and said, "I don't care what it takes, sign this kid immediately." Do not let him leave this city. But here's the crazy part. It was a Sunday. The offices were closed. They couldn't get official contract papers. So Rexach grabbed a napkin from the table. A paper napkin. And he wrote the terms of the contract on it. He signed it right there. That napkin is now one of the most famous pieces of paper in sports history. It is worth millions of dollars. Barcelona agreed to pay for all of Messi's growth hormone treatment. Every single month. They also offered his family a place to live and a salary for his father. The deal was done. Messi was moving to Spain. But here is what people never talk about. The sacrifice. Messi had to leave his mother. His brothers. His sister. His grandmother who had taken him to practice every single day since he was 4 years old. His friends. His school. Everything he had ever known. He was 13. A child. He moved into La Masia, Barcelona's famous youth academy. A building full of other young boys from all over the world. But Messi was different. He was homesick. Desperately homesick. His mother Maria Sol later revealed that Lionel would call home crying almost every single night for the entire first year. Every night. This tiny boy. Alone in a foreign country. Crying himself to sleep because he missed his family. The other boys at the academy spoke Catalan and Spanish. Messi's Argentine accent was different. He was small. He was quiet. He was an outsider. But he kept going. Every morning, he would wake up. Go to training. And destroy everyone on that pitch. Under 14 team. Too easy. Under 16 team. Too easy. Under 18 team. Still too easy. Barcelona B. He went through every level like they didn't exist. Meanwhile, the growth hormone injections were working. Slowly, month by month, Messi was growing. Not just physically. But as a player. He was becoming something the world had never seen before. His coaches were calling the first team manager. They were saying, "You need to see this kid. He is doing things that should not be physically possible. He is 15 years old and he is better than most of our professional players." The stage was being set. The world just didn't know it yet. Okay, so now Messi is at Barcelona. And what happens next is like watching a superhero origin story in real life. October 16, 2004. Messi was 17 years old. He walked onto the pitch at Camp Nou as a substitute against Espanyol. His Barcelona debut. The crowd barely noticed him. He was so small, so skinny, that he looked like a ball boy who had accidentally wandered onto the field. Nobody in that stadium knew they were watching the beginning of the greatest career in the history of football. His first goal came on May 1, 2005. He was 17 years, 10 months and 7 days old. The youngest ever scorer in Barcelona's history. He chipped the goalkeeper with the calmness and confidence of a 30-year-old veteran. As if scoring at Camp Nou was the most natural thing in the world. And then came Ronaldinho. The Brazilian magician. The man who had the world at his feet. Ronaldinho saw something in young Messi. He took him under his wing. Protected him from the media pressure. Helped him settle. And when Messi scored that first goal, it was Ronaldinho who assisted it. And it was Ronaldinho who carried Messi on his back in celebration. The old king acknowledging the new one. Passing the crown. From 2006 onwards, Messi didn't just play football. He rewrote what was possible. Every season was better than the last. Every year brought new records. New moments of magic that made people question whether this man was even human. In 2009, he won the Ballon d'Or for the first time. The best player in the world. He was 22. Then he won it again in 2010. And again in 2011. And again in 2012. 4 consecutive Ballon d'Ors. Nobody in history had ever done that. In 2012, he scored 91 goals in a single calendar year. 91 goals. Breaking Gerd Muller's record that had stood untouched for 40 years. A record that everyone thought was unbreakable. Messi didn't just break it. He destroyed it. At Barcelona, the trophies came like rain. La Liga titles. Champions League titles. Copa del Rey. Club World Cup. Supercopa. He won everything there was to win. Multiple times. His partnership with Xavi and Iniesta created the most beautiful football anyone had ever seen. Tiki-taka. Possession football. And at the center of it all, a small man from Rosario who could dribble past an entire team like they were standing still. But there was one thing missing. One massive, giant, impossible hole in his legacy that he could not fill no matter how hard he tried. The World Cup. The one trophy that Argentina demanded. The one trophy that Maradona had won in 1986. The one trophy that the entire nation believed Messi owed them. And for years, it broke him. Now I need to talk about something that people use against Messi even today. The Argentina curse. And honestly, this part made me emotional. Let me tell you about heartbreak. Real heartbreak. The kind that makes a grown man cry on a football pitch in front of billions of people. 2006 World Cup in Germany. Messi was 18. Young. Excited. Full of hope. Argentina had a great team. They went out in the quarterfinals. Messi barely played. Too young, they said. 2010 World Cup in South Africa. Messi was now 22. The best player in the world. Surely this was his time. Argentina were managed by Maradona himself. They had talent everywhere. But Germany destroyed them. 4-0 in the quarterfinals. Humiliation. Messi didn't score a single goal in the entire tournament. The criticism started. He can't do it for Argentina. He only plays well at Barcelona. He doesn't care about the national team. Maradona was better. Maradona had heart. Messi has no passion. Every single day, Messi heard this. In the newspapers. On social media. From fans. From former players. From pundits. They said he was a fraud with Argentina. A club player pretending to be a national hero. 2014 World Cup in Brazil. This time, Messi was unstoppable. He dragged Argentina to the final almost single-handedly. Goal after goal. Dribble after dribble. The Maracana Stadium. The World Cup final. Argentina versus Germany. Messi had a golden chance in the second half. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. The chance to end every argument forever. The chance to become immortal. He missed. The ball went wide. You could see his soul leave his body. Germany won 1-0 in extra time. Messi received the Golden Ball award as the best player of the tournament. But he didn't want it. The look on his face as he walked past the World Cup trophy is one of the most heartbreaking images in sport. He stared at it. The thing he wanted more than anything in the world. So close. So impossibly far away. 2015 Copa America Final. Argentina vs Chile. Penalties. Argentina lost. Messi missed his penalty. 2016 Copa America Final. Argentina vs Chile. Again. Penalties. Again. Argentina lost. Again. And this time, Messi broke. He stood on the pitch in New Jersey. Tears streaming down his face. And he told the world he was done. He announced his retirement from international football. He said he had tried his best but it wasn't enough. He said the national team didn't deserve him continuing if he couldn't bring them a trophy. The greatest player in the world. The man who had won everything at club level. Quit his national team. Broken. Defeated. Empty. But legends have a way of coming back. Because their story isn't finished yet. This is it. The moment 1 billion people were waiting for. Qatar 2022. Get ready because this is the greatest football story ever told. Messi came back. Of course he came back. Because quitting is not in his DNA no matter how much pain he carries. In 2021, finally, a breakthrough. Copa America. Argentina vs Brazil in the final. At the Maracana. In Brazil's own backyard. And Argentina won. Messi won his first senior international trophy. He fell to the ground crying. Not tears of sadness this time. Tears of pure, overwhelming relief. 16 years of pain. Gone in one night. But everyone knew the real story was yet to come. Qatar 2022. The World Cup. Messi was 35 years old. Everyone, and I mean everyone, knew this was his last chance. His final World Cup. The last dance. The tournament started with disaster. Argentina lost their first match to Saudi Arabia. A team ranked 51st in the world beat the tournament favorites 2-1. Messi scored but it didn't matter. The unbeaten run of 36 games was over. Social media exploded. They said it's over. Messi is cursed. Argentina will go home in the group stage. But something changed in that dressing room after the Saudi Arabia loss. The younger players looked at Messi and made a silent promise. They were going to win this World Cup for him. For the man who had carried Argentine football for 17 years. Argentina won every single match after that. Mexico. Poland. Australia. Netherlands in a dramatic quarter-final. Croatia in the semi-final. Messi was playing like a man possessed. Not the explosive Messi of his youth. But a wiser, calmer, more lethal version. He knew exactly where to be. Exactly when to strike. Like a lion waiting for the perfect moment. And then came December 18, 2022. Lusail Stadium. The World Cup Final. Argentina vs France. Pause. Take a breath. Because what happened in the next 120 minutes was the greatest football match ever played. And possibly the greatest sporting event in human history. Argentina came out flying. Messi won a penalty in the 23rd minute. He stepped up. The entire world held its breath. He scored. 1-0, then Angel Di Maria scored a beautiful team goal. 2-0, at half-time, it was over. Argentina were going to win the World Cup. Messi was going to lift the trophy. The fairy tale ending was happening. Except football doesn't do fairy tales easily. In the 80th minute, Kylian Mbappé scored. Then, 97 seconds later, Mbappé scored again. 2-2, in 97 seconds, France had ripped the dream apart. The stadium was in shock. Messi's face went pale. Not again. Please, not again. Extra time. The 108th minute. A scramble in the box. The ball falls to Messi. He shoots. The goalkeeper saves it. But the rebound comes back. And Messi smashes it in. 3-2, he ran to the corner. Screaming. The passion that people said he never had. It was all pouring out. But Mbappé was not done. The 118th minute. Penalty to France. Mbappé scores his third. His hat trick. 3-3, penalties. This cannot be real. This cannot be happening. Messi has to go through penalties again. The thing that had broken him in 2015 and 2016. Argentina's goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez saved one penalty. Then another. Argentina's players scored theirs. And then, Gonzalo Montiel stepped up for the final kick. The whole of Argentina was on its knees. Praying. Messi couldn't watch. He turned away. Montiel scored. Argentina won the World Cup. And Messi fell to his knees. His teammates buried him under a pile of bodies. 1 billion people were watching. The greatest player in the history of football had finally, after 17 years of pain, won the only trophy that mattered. He was given a bisht, a traditional Arab robe, by the Emir of Qatar. He walked up to the trophy wearing it like a king's cloak. He lifted the World Cup above his head. And the entire world exhaled. The debate was over. The argument was finished. Lionel Messi was the greatest football player who had ever lived. So what does Messi's story teach us? Let me break it down. Today, Messi plays for Inter Miami in the United States. He is 37 years old. He still scores. He still creates magic. He won the League's Cup in his first month there. Because that is what Messi does. He wins. His career statistics are staggering. Over 800 goals. Over 350 assists. 8 Ballon d'Or awards. More than anyone in history. 4 Champions Leagues. 10 La Liga titles. 1 World Cup. 1 Copa America. He has won literally everything there is to win in football. Some of them multiple times. But the numbers don't tell you the real story. The real story is about a small boy from Rosario who was told he would never grow. Who was rejected by his own country's clubs. Who left his family at 13. Who cried himself to sleep for a year. Who lost final after final after final. Who was called a fraud. A failure. A choker. And who never stopped trying. That is the lesson of Messi's life. It's not about talent. Talent is everywhere. It's about what you do when the world tells you no. It's about getting knocked down 10 times and getting up 11. It's about believing in yourself when nobody else does. If Messi can overcome what he overcame, what is your excuse? Subscribe to this channel because tomorrow I am telling the story of another legend. Someone from a completely different sport but whose life story is equally emotional. Equally inspiring. And equally unbelievable. Can you guess who it is? Drop your guess in the comments. Like this video if Messi's story inspired you. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because everyone needs a reminder that greatness is not given. It is earned. Through pain. Through sacrifice. Through never, ever, giving up. I will see you in the next one. If you made it this far, you are a real one. Make sure you subscribe because tomorrow I'm dropping another legendary story. Can you guess who? Drop it in the comments.